Welcome to Module 7.1, Values in the Research Process. In this session, we'll examine how values fundamentally shape research practice, from the questions we choose to investigate, to the methods we select, and ultimately how we interpret and apply our findings. Understanding the role of values helps us approach research with greater awareness and integrity, recognizing that all research exists within social, ethical, and personal contexts that influence every stage of the research process. For decades, scientific research operated under the value-free ideal, the notion that proper science should be objective and free from value influences. However, contemporary philosophy of science recognizes that research is inherently value-laden. Values appear both explicitly in our stated research goals and implicitly in our assumptions and approaches. These values influence every stage of research, from question formulation to data interpretation. Historically, the recognition of values in science evolved through critiques by philosophers like Thomas Kuhn and feminist scholars who highlighted how supposedly neutral science often reflected dominant perspectives. Today's researchers increasingly move beyond the value-free ideal by acknowledging and examining the role values play in their work. Researchers encounter multiple types of values. Epistemic values concern knowledge production itself, including accuracy, predictive power, explanatory scope, and consistency with existing theories. Non-epistemic values include social, moral, and political considerations, such as promoting welfare or equity. Personal values reflect researchers' individual backgrounds, motivations, and worldviews, which inevitably shape their interests and approaches. Disciplinary values vary across fields. For instance, psychology may emphasize individual factors, while sociology emphasizes structural ones. Finally, institutional and funding values establish priorities through resource allocation and recognition systems, often determining which questions are deemed worthy of investigation. Values shape research in multiple ways. First, they influence which questions researchers choose to investigate, what problems are considered important or interesting. Second, values inform methodological decisions, including what counts as appropriate evidence and how rigorously certain variables should be controlled. Third, values affect how findings are interpreted, what patterns are emphasized, and what explanations are favored. Fourth, values determine dissemination strategies, where results are published and how they're framed for different audiences. Finally, values guide application priorities, how research translates into practice, policy, or further inquiry. By recognizing these influences, researchers can be more transparent about the value dimensions of their work.